Shit, I gotta do the countdown. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to episode 37 of the Frontline Black News. I am your host, Che and Kruma. I'm joined by my other host, Lady Che. And our guests tonight are Shabaka Sankori of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, of which I am the co-host of. And our other guest, oh man, he's not going to be able to be connected.
You just got to retry again.
Our other guests are going to be Cool Keezy and Christianata.
Yeah. We have his name pulled up right here. We'll bring him in here shortly. We're having some little small technical.
Yeah, it's from a different location tonight. You with us, Cool Keezy? Okay.
Yo.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got Ramel Understanding.
And we got Ramel Understanding, our political prisoner, our anchor man of the Frontline campaign. Ramel Understanding. And Shabaka Sankori. Already said Shabaka, man. And we will be discussing several things tonight. The first thing is Kyle Rittenhouse Not Guilty. The second thing is Armaud Arbery Murder Trial. The third thing is Travis Scott and Drake sued for $2 billion for Astroworld Music Festival Disaster. 2 of the 3 people who were involved in the murder of Malcolm X to be exonerated. Julius Jones Execution in Oklahoma Halted. He was sentenced to death in 1999 for a murder he didn't commit. 75-year-old Henry Montgomery Paroled. $15 million settlement for Elijah McClain Family. Zac Stacey, former NFL player, domestic violence video and how it triggers women. Unhoused neighbor news and unhoused neighbor sweeps. So I'll start us off. The first thing is Tangibles 2021. I started that hashtag based off of Tariq Nasheed's hashtag Tangibles 2020, in which he demanded that we demand something for our vote, Black family, in the 2020 presidential election from either Biden or Trump. And a whole lot of you fell for the banana in the tailpipe and voted for Biden. And now you got mandatory vaccines and economy in shambles. The cost of everything done went up. And we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to tell us what tangibles we're getting from a Biden administration. Because it's been a year now, and we have gotten nothing tangible from Biden. So we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to tell us what tangibles we're getting. So the whole purpose of Tangibles 2021 was to continue on of Tangibles 2020, in which we outlined the malign neglect policy that's been in effect for the past 50 years by the Democratic Party, which lumps us into broad, ambiguous terms such as people of color, minorities, marginalized, disenfranchised, underprivileged, underserved, downtrodden, and the list goes on and on and on. And we said enough is enough of that. You're not going to lump us into these broad, ambiguous terms anymore. And we're going to demand something tangible for our vote. Now they say, what do you mean by tangible? That's something concrete, something substantive, something you can count, measure, touch with your own hand, feel, not symbolism, not what we've been getting from these Democrats for the past 50 years. Nothing but symbolism. That's what Obama was symbolism. Hope and change that we believe in, that symbolism, Black family. We're demanding tangibles. All these other groups get tangibles. The LGBTQ gets tangibles. The illegal immigrants get tangibles. Shit, refugees get tangibles. But we, the people that built
Facts.
this country, the people that this country's whole foundation is based off of, that's why we're the foundational Black Americans. As you can see, Kookies, got the flag in the background. Salute. FBA all day.
Hey, always. Yes, sir.
And we're demanding $100 trillion for past, present, and future atrocities that have been brought against our people and continue to be brought against our people. And we're demanding our reparations now in full. So any politician not seeking your vote, demand something tangible for your vote, Black family. That goes for the local level, that goes for the state level, and that goes for the federal level. Demand something tangible for your vote, or don't participate in this political system. And we watched the political two-party system collapse right before our very eyes. We're already seeing the Democrats implode right in front of us, and it's going to continue.
Right.
Come 2024, it's going to be a red surge, because we're fed up with the Democrats. The Democrats are not doing nothing tangible for us. Jim Crow Biden basically tells us he's not going to do nothing for us, even though we supposedly got him in the office, and we're supposed to be the backbone, especially Black women are supposed to be the backbone of the Democratic Party, and they have got nothing tangible from a Biden administration. Now, we understand that this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, Black family. This is not going to be overnight. This is going to be something that's going to be generational, but all the way up to 2100, we're demanding our tangibles. So next year, the hashtag will be tangibles 2022. We're not letting up on the tangibles, Black family. We're going to continue to demand something for our vote if we're going to continue to participate in this illegitimate system known as U.S. politics. So, once again, any politician not seeking your vote, demand something tangible for your vote. Stop just giving your vote away. Stop just voting because the white media tells you to vote, or because, anybody but Trump, that madness. Vote because you have an agenda and you have needs and you need to get them met. Vote for something tangible, Black family. That's all we're saying here on Frontline Black News. We're not telling you who to vote for or any of that. We're saying if you're going to vote, if you're going to participate in this political process, demand something tangible for your vote. That's all I have, Black family. Anybody got anything to add on Tangibles 2021? And we're back joined with Kool
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, without a doubt. First place.
Go ahead, Shabaka.
Oh, yes, indeed. And also, yes, sir. Okay, you are absolutely correct what you say, Brother Che. And once again, as we say on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and we're going to keep pushing the line, we are still waiting on you Biden supporters to call in. And you haven't. So your silence tells us everything. You know you've been bullshitted. You know you've been had. You know you've been bamboozled and hoodwinked, and the elders already told you this here over 60 years ago. So why in the entire fuck will we sit up here, waste our time endorsing these Democrats like your Uncle Tim Scott Coons and other ass scratchers and yassa bosses out there who don't mean us no damn good? This is why Jesse Parrish must become mayor of Denver, Colorado, and hopefully the gentleman can go up there and parlay it up into at the state level and start making some noises, because we built this goddamn country. Okay, these motherfuckers is coming here as of yesterday is benefiting off of our damn work. I mean, straight out. And just like the elder had stated on our podcast last night, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, we got to do for ourselves. You see? Right. And your other groups, you got to go hold your own nuts. We cannot do it no more, because we were the ones who went out there and got hit with fire hoses and busted upside the head. We the ones that got out there and beat down, at Edmund Pettus Bridge. And all you other groups, we got to be inclusive and all that. bullshit. Because when you other motherfuckers come here to this country, you sons of bitches set up there your own stores, your own professions, accounting, law, what have you. Look at Koreatown in Los Angeles. And then really to add insult to injury, the motherfuckers write their damn advertisement in their own language. But here's old black Democrats. Oh, yes, Master Charlie. Yeah. I do whatever you tell me. You know, like Uncle Tim Scott Coon. Pathetic. Gonna sit up there and says that this motherfucker called the United States of America is not racist. Sir, you had just pulled out your Johnson and pissed on our heads and told us it's rain. You had shitted on us and is telling us that it is snow. Now, mental shackles, ladies and gentlemen, is a motherfucker. Okay? Is because when the slave was controlled mentally, just like Malcolm has stated in his lectures, you got the field Negro and you got the house Negro. And then when a field Negro tells the house Negro, hey man, let's get away from this ruthless bastard. Let's go up here and do for ourselves. And what the house Negro would sit there and say, oh man, what's better than what we got here? You know, Master Charlie love us. It is sad. It is really sad. And you got to laugh to keep from crying. And like I said, and we don't have time to waste no more with this bullshit. So as Brother Paris says, and we continue pushing that line, that we are demanding tangibles, something you could see, something you could touch, something that's viable, something that is durable. They say, and then after we get our tangibles, then we'll talk about intangibles. This is why we must get our children out to public indoctrination centers. All it is just a bunch of bullshit fucking up our youth. Got our young men thinking it's appropriate to go out here and wear dresses and shit like in that cesspool called Los Angeles, California, where Hollywood is. Sitting up here making whores out of our women. You know, going up there half naked. Oh, I want to be the next big star and all this old type of shit. Yeah. And every other group of people looks at us and they laugh at us. Can't you hear the laughter, Black family? Doesn't it piss you off? Yes. And if it doesn't, it should. That's what's so sad about it. Got to laugh to keep from crying.
Right.
Ass scratchers telling us, you know, to assimilate, you know, and that there is our salvation. You stupid, brain dead motherfucker. Wake up and smell like goddamn coffee. They're putting their foot in your ass. Oh, I just love it, master. Yeah, you know, just beat me some more. Now you're sexualizing this shit.
Yeah. All right,
it is sickening.
Let's hear
yes, sir.
Cool Keezy, because he got to go pretty soon. Go ahead, bro.
Romero or Cool Keezy?
Cool Keezy.
Okay.
I have a whole lot to comment on it, but I'd like to.
Tell bring him in on Facebook. Bring him on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, we'll bring you in on Facebook Messenger, bro, because it's hard to hear you.
My connection is poor.
Is it better on the Messenger? Is it better on Messenger, Keezy?
Yeah, I see they messing with our algorithms again.
Oh yeah, that's a given.
No, just keep it open right there, and just put it in this Facebook. Yeah, there you go. They'll log into Facebook that way. You gonna sign me out? Or no, you could pull him in through there.
Yeah, because you're friends with him.
Yeah.
Hold on. Continue what you were saying, Shabaka. We're gonna try to bring Cool Keezy in on.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So therefore, man, you know, when they piss on our heads and tell us it's rain, okay, is getting to the point that we have our own selves to blame now because we know better.
When he gets
And then these so-called Negro leaders who are constantly leading us down the toilet. And I'm talking about you, Jesse Jackson. I'm talking about you, Al Sharpton. Go suck on some more bananas, man, and go out there with your LGBT flag, man. That's more appropriate for you. And you sitting up there trying to tell us this bullshit is progress and what have you.
Facebook.
And Facebook, they fucking with algorithms and what have you because they don't like the truth of what we say. Just as the elder had explained to us on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Okay? All this shit is designed on purpose, folks. Okay, I see that you're trying to schedule a room right here.
No. We're trying to get our back in.
Yeah, it was hard to
Okay.
hear him. He had a bad connection where he's at.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably these.
Ramel, what you got to say about the tangibles?
The tangibles, man, is get something for your vote, man. You know, and these people, they don't care about us, man. Biden, he don't give a fuck about what's going on in the Black community. He just gives a fuck about what's going on with him and the Eurocentric system. Mm-hmm. You know, stop falling for the banana and tailpipe. Stop going for that bullshit, Black families. Stop believing in these people thinking that they got your best interest in hand and heart, because they don't. You know, Biden and all these Illuminati motherfucking clans, men, motherfuckers / white supremacist motherfuckers, they don't give a fuck about us. Mm-hmm. You know, from what I hear, the dude, Biden, he's a Klansman. You know, he gave official eulogy to a known Klansman.
Yeah.
That died.
Right.
You know, I don't think that these people, you know, care about us, and what they're doing is a way to degrade us, humiliate us, trick us, rob us, steal from us. You know, even the education system is designed to destroy the Black youth's minds. And we need something for ourselves. We need our own politicians running. We need to organize. We need to put our own people in positions of power where we have control. And that's what we're lacking. We're lacking control of the political system. You know, where they're in control of everything, and we're basically being suppressed by them. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
All righty. All right.
Yeah, he's right about that.
Yeah, he is. So our next topic is Kyle Rittenhouse is not guilty of all counts. Welcome to America.
Okay. Oh, yes, indeed. The fucking judge in that case belongs investigated or reviewed by the Judicial Council. He himself belongs in jail. He rigged that shit. It was staged. And I'm of the opinion that shitting in the house with his AR-15, his intended targets were Black people. Now, I was listening to Professor Black Truth earlier today while I was at work, and he was making a whole lot of sense. Yeah. I honestly believe that shit in the house had crossed state lines to go kill Black people, but the three Caucasoids, that was something he wasn't planning on. And then not to mention the fact that as he killed these people, is that the police, you know, passed right by him on the street.
Don't mind us.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, they were all in it together.
Got it.
And I'm so sorry to say, and I got $100 bill right here that I would on a bet that I would love to lose, but I'm of the belief that the Cluxes in Georgia are going to walk the ones that murdered Mr. Arbery. And of course, our hearts go out to his family. Of course, our hearts go out to his loved ones and his friends and those who were familiar with the young man. So these cave beasts,
Hold on.
good old boys.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Chewbacca. We're listening.
Okay, yeah. I hate to say, and this is $100 I would be happy to lose
1 second.
if I were to bet on them walking. I would love to be proved wrong on it. I would be happy to pay the $100 if I lose. Okay, but the cold part about it is that when you got the jurors where they got 11 whites on there and one black person on there, that clearly goes to show you that they are setting the stage to let these no good pieces of shit and these no good bastards walk.
Look at it.
Okay? I mean, it's the same goddamn thing that happened up there in Ventura County in 1992, where these sons of bitches beat Rodney King 52 times with the baton, hit him with a taser about 5 times, and that's a minimum of 50,000 volts going through you.
Oh,
and the pigs.
Chewbacca. We got Kurt. We got
okay.
Keith back in the room. Is this a genius?
Okay.
Cool kids.
Yeah, I see the brother there. More power to him. Yes, sir. Peace to you, my good brother. Power by all means. But as I was saying, I'm gonna finish out my sentence, and I'm gonna let then I'm gonna give the floor up. Okay. Just like what they did in Los Angeles in 1992. Okay, them bastards knew that they were going to be acquitted in Ventura County. Now, when you look at Ventura County, California, what the hell do you got up there? Retired district attorneys, retired police chiefs, retired police officers. So, of course, the jury pool was definitely a jury of their peers. Just like what happened with shit in the house. Just like it was happening in Georgia with these no good murdering ass motherfuckers by the name of McMichaels. 10 whites, 1 black. No, I'm sorry, it's 12 people on the jury, right? So you got 11 cave beasts and 1 brother. Say.
Put something far away. Yeah, we're listening.
So already the set is staged. You see what I mean? And fuck the McMichaels. The bitch who bore that bastard should have went on and spit it as opposed to getting fucked by that no good bastard. And excuse my language, ma'am. I don't mean no disrespect or to any of the women out there. But to coin a phrase out of South Central LA, that was definitely a case of a wasted fuck.
Whoa. All right. Now we're bringing in Cool Keys. We lost it for a second, but the genius right here, which is the seduction doll, got this all finagled. So we got our boy up here, and so we shared screens. It looked like a multiple menage a trois of screen sharing, but that's how we do it over here. Talking to someone as a genius. Go ahead, Kurt.
Go ahead, Kurt. What you got to say about Kyle Rittenhouse? Not you, Ramel.
Not you, Ramel. Kurt.
Cool Keys. What you got to say?
Here shortly. Just hold on.
Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was just say Kyle Rittenhouse, man. I would think they told us it's okay for us to buy illegal weapons as minors travel across state lines, because if it's okay for Killer Kyle, must be okay for everybody else too, then, right?
Yeah, the first black kid that gets caught doing that shit, he just going to jail. We already know.
Yeah, everybody
that set the precedent. So the gates is open.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody might as well, if you're 16, 17, you might as well go get you an AR, you know, and do what you do. You know,
we might as well be honest
that's
though, Curry.
what
Like,
time it is.
first black kid that does it and does go over there on the next major motherfucking shitstorm of a protest, his ass is going to jail. And then set
Well, I mean, it's
for
going to be
failure.
If not the morgue.
lot more difficult for, you know, people like us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's the same thing that happened with the war on dope.
Yeah.
Well, good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna convict this guy for that, then you can't convict all of us for doing that same shit. If that's that's all I have to say. Carl Rittenhouse. Everybody knew what was up. If you didn't know, if you didn't expect him to get off, or if you're going around saying, well, it was self-defense anyway, and all that, well, then, you know, I don't really have time for you. I don't have time to explain nothing to anybody about that, because everything is already out there.
Right.
If you don't see what it is, then, you know, maybe back in school, when you were in school and you were and class was in section, you were eating crayons, you know, playing with your I don't know what you're doing. You're eating crayons, you got hit by the school bus, whatever happens. But we don't have time to explain everything to everybody. The people that's on code is on code.
Right.
Stay on code. Don't get off code. And the people that's not on code is gonna stay where they're at. Yeah. You know, they gonna stay licking boots and tap dancing and doing whatever else it is that they do.
Remember?
We don't have time to explain things.
Yeah. I know. I think you're right. I think you're right on that, because you know, the people were thinking that he wasn't gonna get off. We already knew he was. And the judge was actually it was set for that when they let him out on bail. And then they couldn't find his ass. Then they found him.
Also, I'd like there. One more thing. Don't argue. All my sisters and brothers out here, man, do not start arguing with folks. I know it kind of ticks you off when you hear black people saying, well, it was just white on white crime now. You ain't got nothing to worry about that. Don't be worried. Look, don't argue with these people. Just as I just stated before, we know what it is. And if you know, then what do you got? Everybody can't come where we going. Right. Everybody's not allowed. So let these folks say they foolish stuff and keep on keeping on. We don't have time to argue, and we ain't gotta explain everything. What's understood don't need to be explained.
Exactly.
Shit, the time for teaching is over.
Facts.
You're paying attention or you're not. You're get off the boat. You know, like you're either right here with us or not. They go back to
taking Ritalin. Yeah, they were taking and they were taking Ritalin and their ADHD or whatever. But now they're doing a lot of harder stuff, and that's up to them. Let's let them keep doing that, smoking dope and getting drunk and twerking and rah. Let them do that. But it ain't time for us to let up at all. Just keep your foot on the neck, keep doing what you do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep. Ramel, understanding. Do you have something to say? Ramel.
Yeah, I do.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Mine is pretty short and simple. Fuck the motherfuckers. They're out there. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. You know.
Yes, sir.
The police, they ain't doing nothing for us. The shit is a sham. You know, it's meant to support them. Motherfucking destroy us. That's all I want to say.
It just exposed how corrupt the system is altogether. You know, it's not justice. It's just
yes, sir.
And you know, if
exactly,
he wouldn't have even made it to trial.
Nope. He definitely wouldn't have been having a nice ass suit like that. His ass would have been in straight oranges. That made him look like, you know, he's special.
And this is the $100. And like I said, people, this is the $100 bill right here that I will be happy to lose okay, if them sons of bitches down there in Georgia get convicted. But I'm already seeing the stage. I got 100 motherfucking dollars right here that I will be happy to lose if them no good bastards, that daddy and his raggedy ass son and the stinking bitch that bore him, get convicted.
Yeah,
They say I will be happy to lose this. But with shit in the house going on, just like with the other shit when that no good ass cop Mala Harris let them bastards walk that married Mario Woods. There ain't no justice in this motherfucker for us, man. This is why we gotta get our youth up out these goddamn public indoctrination centers. This is why I appreciated the show that General Ramel hosted last night on Shabaka's Blacc Experience. It's up to us, Black family, to take care of us and fuck you other motherfucking groups. Straight out. Straight out.
Yep. Period. Bro, so my thoughts, the fix was in from the beginning when the judge was talking to him like he was his nephew or his son.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
When he refused to call the victims,
right.
We already know the fix was in. So I'm not surprised. I'm angry.
Where they got to be referred to as looters. Yeah, where they got to be referred to as looters, they got to be referred to as rioters. You see what I mean? Which was fucked up. And like I said before, I'm of the opinion that shit in the house his intended targets were black people. All right, and them crackers just got off in this way.
We're gonna thank Cool Keezy for joining us this evening. He had to log off, so Black Empowerment, peace, love, and Black Empowerment.
Indeed.
We're going to continue on to our next topic, which is the Armaud Arbery trial.
Right.
Friday was day 11 of the trial.
Damn.
And they will be going into deliberations next week. So
that shit going, man.
Like
right.
Said, they're more than likely going to get off. I'm hoping and praying they don't get off. It's completely clearly murder. As seen in the Kyle Rittenhouse, that was murder, and he got off. So ain't no telling.
Exactly.
Georgia, or anywhere in this United States.
Exactly.
But Georgia especially, they're like.
Oh yes, sir.
You know.
Did you say United
and then keep in mind,
he did.
and now here's the part about the case in Georgia that I find so amazing, is that these Barney Fife ass, Andy Griffith, stupid motherfuckers is calling themselves making the citizen's arrest or some shit like that, and then they got their homeboy to go out there and videotape it.
Yeah.
So then with they Barney Fife asses, they going out there. This man is doing his road work. This young man, I believe, was trying to better himself through a scholarship, I believe, and what have you. And so then, of course, what these good old boys wanted to do was to go out here and go kill a nigga. Just like how they would pick a nigga that they would lynch, and they would sit down and have a feast. And today the term is called picnic, as in pick a nigga. And I believe this is what these motherfuckers did.
Yep. That's exactly what they did. They planned to round up a nigger in the neighborhood and kill him. Just like they did in the good old back
yes, sir.
Back in the day. So, Trump emboldened them. Biden is just giving them a free pass. So they feel like they can just do whatever. And all this is on the heels of Floyd. And white supremacy was about to take a serious L if Kyle Rittenhouse got convicted. So if
absolutely
convicted, white supremacy is taking a major L.
Oh, yes, sir. And then also, too, white supremacy is gearing up, and they are very, very serious about our addiction and our demise. So therefore, I'm reaching out there to all them cats out there in the rap industry, Snoop Dogg, The Game, P. Diddy, Jay-Z and Beyonce, hey, no matter how much money you got and you sitting up there with them damn pedophiles down there in Hollywood, hey, they can knock off your black ass too.
Yep.
Look what they did to Bill Cosby's son.
Yep.
Shit, look
Say,
at Bill Cosby himself.
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes, sir, General. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct on that, General Ramel. Look what they did to Bill Cosby. You know, gonna smear Bill Cosby. And I mean, he's been more than loyal to NBC for at least 50 years that I know of, from the time he played in a TV series called I Spy, from the time he did the Bill Cosby variety show, from the time he did the other Bill Cosby show, where he was a high school basketball coach, and his character, I believe, was Chet Kincaid, I believe. You see? And look how they smeared the brother.
Right.
And Bill, you honestly thought that them white motherfuckers was gonna sell you NBC? Come on, brother. Just like Mr. Robert Johnson, the creator of BET. He sells it to Viacom for $2 billion. And you could best believe that if Viacom was Robert Johnson and Robert Johnson was Viacom wouldn't have sold it.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. They wouldn't have sold it. But the mindset of these brain dead Negroes, and this is why the hashtag had been created, resurrection of the mental dead. Okay, this is what we are in need of, is a mental resurrection, is because here we are like sheep going up before the fucking wolf, and you got assholes like Kamala Harris, Uncle Tim Scott Coon, Clyburn, Mahadnock, other ass scratchers and yassa bosses. What's her name, Brother Che? Kimberly Daniels. Thank God for slavery. Otherwise, she'd be in Africa worshiping a tree. You stupid bitch. A tree is to be worshipped. It gives you oxygen. You stupid motherfucker. Oh, Master Charlie, I'm just so in love with you. You the ball, yeah.
Years older.
But at least one thing I will say about
sorry, I just have to let our viewers know.
Boy, they fucking with our algorithms bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Okay, Ramel, what do you got to say on the Armaud Arbery trial?
Man, them people, they stalked that man and they killed that man, man. They preyed on him.
Period.
You know.
Period.
You know.
Facts.
They basically scoped out how he was moving, and they plotted on that man. And they killed that man. It was a stone cold murder. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think like
in the first degree.
You know, I'm not too bright, so I have to ask y'all, what's the name of the brother that got killed where they were pressing his knee on his neck?
That was George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd. Yeah. I think that just to make sure that they're in good standing with black people, they're going to convict these 3 white dudes. I think it's 3 of them.
Yes.
I certainly hope so, yeah.
It's the McMichaels and
I certainly hope so.
Eric Wright.
I hold on to your money, Shabaka. I take that bet. I would if I had enough, because I seriously think that these people are going to be convicted. Not because you know they want to convict them, but because they have to convict them to appease the people. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
As we know.
Well, they're gonna have to convict. They're gonna have to convict a whole lot more white people.
Yeah.
To convince the black people they're not being supremacists. I mean, you might as well just start locking up white people right now.
Right.
Right now, just on general principle, just like they do with us. He's wearing a hoodie. He fits the description.
Yeah.
Very tall, white, blue eyes, blonde hair, red hair, green eyes, fucking freckles. He has freckles. That's it. Lock his ass up. He wearing tie white. He has a high and tight haircut. Lock his ass up. He got a man bun. He's wearing white dreadlocks. Lock his ass up. You know what I mean? Yeah, then he's just too much of a motherfucking hippie. Lock his ass up. He look like he white gangbanging. Lock his ass up.
Yeah, he's a wigger.
Yeah, exactly. He said the N-word. Lock his ass up. Then that might be convincing to black people.
He lost Shabaka.
Yeah, I mean, but at this point, nah.
I just think they're going to convict them just to make sure they're in good standing with black people. That's what I think.
Black people, if you eat that up and you fucking accept that, black people, oh my God, just slap yourself 3 times on the tray for me. Because that is dumb. That is dumb. You should just never know that they're going to automatically try to appease us for anything. They don't appease us any other time. They don't give a fuck what we think. No. They don't give a fuck what we think.
They do to a certain extent. They do to a certain extent. Because if they didn't give a fuck about what you thought, they wouldn't be trying to brainwash us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just let us, think how we think. But their thing is they try to, program us and motherfucker make us believe that they're our white savior, they're our white helper, they're our white friend, and that ain't the case.
Well, and that's what the Kyle Rittenhouse trial proves. You try to stand up for black people, you get killed, and a white person kill you, they're gonna get away with it.
Yeah. So just like how they used to break the black man in the presence of the rest of the slaves in front of his children and his woman. This is what these motherfuckers did down there in Georgia with Armaud Arbery. Instead of them doing it in front of the slaves, now they could do it virtually. And then these motherfuckers with they Barney Fife's ass talking about they going to make a citizen's arrest and all this old stupid ass shit. Then they had that raggedy ass sack of shit, the son, sitting up there on the stand, and they was questioning him about his time in the Coast Guard, and they was asking him the procedures of what they go through to make a detainment, to make an arrest, and this motherfucker sitting up there with his thumb up his ass, and you could clearly see, man, he was trying to get his lies straight. You know what I'm saying? And then you got 11 white folks up there, and only one black person.
Eddie Murphy song.
I mean, what kind of shit is that?
Party all the time.
We're gonna make them hurt.
I mean, and then the sad part about it is, and then they got the Yassa bosses down there, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. Both you clowns go play on the damn expressway and do us a favor and get ran over. And Al Sharpton, go keep sucking on your bananas, you LBG faggot ass motherfucker. Go suck on another banana trick. I mean, the Arbery family is already going through enough grief, and then with these 2 opportunistic assholes, it's just too much. This shit is just too.
Damn, we keep losing somebody. I think we should go on to the next topic.
Yep.
All right, so the next topic is Shabaka's back.
Some odd reason.
Yeah, Shabaka.
I understand.
We're gonna go to the next topic after you finish your thought.
Yes, sir. So I'm hoping like hell, man, that they do get convicted. I'm betting $100 that they won't, but it is a bet that I will be happy to pay and will be happy to lose.
Okay.
See, I'm a poor man. Will you take payments on that bet?
Hell no. All right. So the next topic is Travis Scott and Drake sued for $2 billion.
that they could work their voodoo and their magic and get them convicted. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brother Che. I just wanted to get that in. But go ahead, sir. Next topic. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so our next topic is Travis Scott and others are being sued for $2 billion in damages for what happened at Astroworld last week, where there was 282 victims. Over 300 people were treated for injuries at the festival, and 25 people were hospitalized, and I believe 10 people or 11 people were pronounced dead on the scene.
Huge case of gross negligence resulting in death. Mr. Scott might as well say goodbye to his career. I don't know what type of insurance that they might have carried. If the insurers go ahead and pay the victims' families, you could best believe that Mr. Scott is finished.
Yeah, so the damages are from Scott himself, Apple Music, Live Nation, NRG Stadium, and Drake.
So Apple will probably pay it off because that there's just a drop in the bucket to the wealth that they got. They part of them trillionaires.
Yep.
You see, that ain't shit to them, but you could best believe they're going to let everybody else fall.
Well, that's going to bankrupt Drake and Travis Scott because they're not.
Oh, indeed.
Definitely not no $1 billion.
Yes, sir. You know, so they'll be out there on the side of the freeway holding up a sign. You know what I'm saying?
Drake
and Apple, they've been still throwing money to Jeff Bezos, playing Space Cowboys. So Bezos, Apple's, Elon Musk, get Bill Gates on your next space flight and fly that motherfucker straight to the sun and do humanity a favor and go kill your goddamn selves.
Yeah.
And by all means, our hearts go out there to the family members who lost their loved ones. Do let me say that.
Yes. Yeah, that was what was it, a 9-year-old black kid?
Yeah, man, I'm so disappointed. But you know, the
yes. Only thing I know is that all the victims were young.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the little boy. He was a pretty little black boy. You know, he got crushed. And he got some, you know, his little trampled a little bit. And he thought they put him. The concert was out of control. It was a crowd surge, and they didn't stop the concert. And people that had brought children, some had them sitting on top of the shoulders. And what happened was the father passed out from no air, and as the crowd started to surge, when he passed out, the little boy fell off of him, and he got trampled a little bit. They put him in a medically induced coma. And they eventually died. The little boy died, and I was really hoping the little boy was gonna make it, because you know, you just don't want to see. He didn't have a chance. He was just a little boy. He was just a tiny little thing. He didn't have a chance to mess up. He didn't have a chance to do anything. He didn't have a chance to grow, make mistakes, learn from them. He didn't have a chance to cuss out white people. He didn't have a chance to have a girlfriend. He didn't have a chance to do anything of fucking relevance, you know?
Right.
And that was terrible. I was really praying for the little boy to make it, because on one of our shows, you know, I think I said that, like, you know, God, man, let's just hope that he can pull through, because little spirit didn't have a chance to hit a little spirit, you know what I mean? He just went to a concert, his daddy passed out, he got trampled by fucking a sea of white kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, it was like a sea of white kids trampled him, and he was lucky he got out of there. Let's just put it that way. He's lucky he got out of there, and he had some time to sit in the hospital and try to pull himself there. But you know, I guess God needed him more.
Yeah.
And dude, let me add this in too, based on research on that there, Lady Che, is that the police department was busy taking selfies on their goddamn cell phones, as opposed to going out there doing crowd control. Mm-hmm. So what was this, in the city of Houston?
Yes, Houston, Texas.
Okay. Right, so therefore, you know, seize them goddamn cops' pensions who were supposed to have been doing their fucking job and give it to the families. Drake and Yeah, Drake and what's the dude's name? Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, man, you dudes really need to be ashamed of yourselves with that bullshit. And hopefully they'll break your asses. And then you go stand out there on the side of a goddamn freeway or at a parking lot in Walmart with your signs held up talking about, man, you need a little bit of change, bro. And fuck both you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they pay. I'm hoping that they pay for that. You know, I mean, a lot of other people died, like, you know, eight, nine other people, but I'm hoping that they do the right thing by that man and his son, and, you know, pay for his services and medical bills for that little boy, because they put that little boy in a coma. Yeah, I mean, regardless of what happened, everybody, there's a lot of people at fault, not just them. You know, that's where everybody's want to take that big money to, is to the artists. But there's a lot of background shit in charge of that, and, you know, the fire chief could have stopped it. You know, they're not. What happened to them not having insurance to cover a crowd surge?
Right.
They have insurance for everything else.
Right, and then then those who are in charge of the public safety of that venue, which I believe was the Houston Police Department.
Yep.
Yeah, they're negligent too, because a lot of them bastards was up there star chasing. See, this is why I say fuck you motherfucking celebrities in Hollywood, unless I know you personally. You see, motherfuckers up there star chasing and people got killed going over some bullshit. Yep. What in the fuck will I go up here and star chase some rich ass motherfucker who don't give a good goddamn about the community?
Why?
And he up in there hiding in the house. Yeah. He's going through emotional shit. Right. He's like, oh, I don't feel
motherfuckers up there star chasing.
Yep, that's exactly what they're doing.
See? Yep. And this is why I tell them motherfuckers in Hollywood to go fuck themselves.
Yep. Oh, give them the famous Gettysburg Address.
No, say that again, Brother Che.
Give them the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, the
5555 West Melrose Avenue, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers and Burbank Studios. Burbank is his own city. Warner Brothers is right next to the city of Burbank in the city of Los Angeles, and I think that section of LA is called Studio City. Touchstone, Miramax, Hollywood Pictures. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Right. And from the bottom of our hearts, we mean these two words when we tell you fuck you. You motherfuckers ain't shit.
We approve of the message here on Frontline Black News and frontlinecampaign.org. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube for Frontline Black News and the Revolutionary Agenda. Ramel, did you have anything to add?
Sir.
I do have something to add, man. Where's the security, man? Where's the, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just surprised that it was that lax, the security, where all that shit happened. 800, 900 people getting hurt, kids getting killed, all that crazy shit. It's just like, come on now. You know?
Yeah.
It's just a bad look. It's a bad look, man. And it just made thank you never look bad, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know. They're going to pay the money. I don't think they're going to end up broke. Because he always come out with a way to get his money.
They're gonna be broke.
They're gonna be broke. They're not even. Their net worth isn't even $200 million.
Together.
And this lawsuit that I didn't even get to who's following the lawsuit. So
even if they pay it all out, they still got their career, and they still got what they got.
Well, their career is shit now.
They're going to be paying for that.
Boy, they are fucking with our algorithms tonight, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, social media giants. That just means that you all are fucking with us again because you cannot stand this heat.
Yep.
You cannot stand the truth. And that's all what we're telling you is the truth. You raggedy motherfuckers need to try it sometime.
Go ahead, Ramel.
You really do. And like I said, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the next time y'all get in your spaceship, take Bill Gates with you and fly that motherfucker directly to the sun and blow the fuck up and do humanity a favor.
Yep.
Really? Save the earth. And that stupid ass Kimberly Daniels. A tree is to be worshipped, you dumb bunny.
Right.
So we don't know. Well, we know what fucked your mind up. The miseducation of the Negro. I'm sorry, Brother Che.
All right, so we're going to go to our next topic, which is 2 of the 3 men who were charged in the murder of Malcolm X are being exonerated. So let me give the context to everything. So this is from Cartoon News Network, otherwise known as CNN. It says 2 men convicted of the 1964 assassination of Malcolm X were exonerated during a court hearing Thursday after a half-century effort to clear their names. New York County Supreme Court Administrative Judge Ellen Bybin, instead of Biden, it's Bybin, granted the motion to vacate the convictions of Muhammad X Aziz and the late Khalil Islam.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, as the elder was saying last night, that there's Norman 3X Butler and Talmadge Hayer.
Yep, that's their Islamic names. Yep, Norman the 3 times Butler, Aziz, and Thomas 15X Johnson Islam.
Right.
So she said that I regret that this court cannot fully undo the serious miscarriages of justice in this case and give you back the years that were lost, Bybin said in her ruling. The court erupted in applause as Bybin finished her remarks. A 22-month investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance's office and lawyers for the men found that evidence of their innocence, including FBI documents, which were withheld at trial. The men were known at the time of the killing of civil rights. They keep fucking it up. Malcolm X was not a civil rights activist. But again, this is Cartoon News Network. As Norman the 3 times Butler, Aziz, and Thomas 10 or 15 times Johnson Islam. Aziz, 83, addressed the court Thursday, saying in part, the events that brought us to court today should have never occurred. Those events were and are the result of a process that was corrupt to its core, one that is all too familiar to Black people in 2021. I hope.
Yes, sir.
I hope the same system that was responsible for this travesty of justice also takes responsibility for the immeasurable harm caused to me during the last 55 or 56 years, he added. Vance apologized in court for what he called a decades-long injustice. I apologize for what were serious, unacceptable violations of law and public trust, Vance said. I apologize on behalf of our nation's law enforcement for this decades-long injustice, which has eroded public faith in institutions that are designed to guarantee equal protection under the law. Your Honor, we can't restore what was taken away from these men and their families, but by correcting the records, perhaps we can begin to restore the faith. Why is
okay? if I may interject on that there, Brother Che, as the elder, has stated last night on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, it has come to my attention from a friend of mine is that the late, great Dick Gregory had did an investigation years ago or pieced together some information is because they had always said that the angle of the shotgun pellets that killed Minister Malcolm were in an upward angle, but in actuality, they were in a downward angle. So which means is that the murderers of Malcolm X were above him as opposed to below him. And the sad part about it is that Brother Malcolm was murdered in front of Betty and the children. Now that was really fucked up. And the word that comes to my mind that all of us are familiar with, the same thing what they did to the Black Panther Party, is COINTELPRO, where a drag queen by the name of John Edgar Hoover, who was probably getting fucked in his ass by a dude named Clyde Tolson, I believe is the one that engineered that bullshit, is because he was always in fear of a black insurrection, and he had stated it on numerous times that just the organization of Negroes, period, is a threat to national security. I mean, you might as well compare this motherfucker to Adolf Eichmann, Rudolf Hess. Say, you put J. Edgar Hoover in the same category with them motherfuckers. Himmler, Hoover, Hitler. Sons of bitches are all one of the same.
Yeah, so did they add to the conversation, Ramon?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all I gotta say is that it's sad that the people had to suffer that long in prison before they got exonerated. How many more people are in prison right now for crime they didn't commit?
I would say 90. I would say at least 90%.
Yeah. The system is designed to just, play and, take into possession who they can. Anybody who don't have some kind of Johnny Cochran or some kind of real good lawyer is done. Because, they're not trying to serve justice. What they're trying to do is incarcerate and make money off you while you're in there.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about you.
Yes, sir.
Only now.
You're right.
Now, because it's affecting their population, are they making it like where it's treatment being involved in programs and all this reform and all this other shit? Because it's affecting their people, and their people are becoming part of the system in multitudes in masses.
It's my understanding that the Innocence Project is the one that's responsible for this. And they've been exonerating all hundreds of cases over the years. So this is just one of many that's been exonerated over the years. But yeah, it's about time. It's a shame though. One of the brothers, he didn't even make it to see this. I believe he ended up dying after he was released from prison in 1989.
Wow. Yeah. And then they would always was saying is that that Mr. Muhammad had something to do with it, but quite naturally, of course, we all know that he didn't, just based off the information that we have right here, is because, as X said in a prologue to his book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X, it was one of the first books that I read, where he had stated that he did not expect to read his book in its finished form. Now, as we all know, and when you look at the history of the Caucasoid, his thing has always been to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And that's what Hoover was all about.
Yeah.
Even with Dr. King, with Newton and the crew, with Mr. Muhammad and his crew, divide and conquer. And what it is, Black family, is the more reason why we got to keep our cohesiveness together, even ever more so now with this nanotechnology, with this vaccine, with this hide and bide motherfucker who's going to G2 summits shitting on himself.
Solutions.
And then Kamala Harris. Wow.
Where did they put that at?
Wow.
Hold on, page. Yep. Yeah, and Kamala Harris, is my understanding, was in control of the country for 12 hours, while Biden was
About, I
his
think, 2 hours.
2?
Yeah.
2 hours? Okay.
And what they should have did, about 2 hours, and then with Biden having his colonoscopy, they should have took that vaccine and shoved it up his ass along with the instruments for the colonoscopy.
That's right, you should go.
Yeah, they should have injected that motherfucker with that goddamn vaccine while he was up there having his ass spread open. The son of a bitch. Next motherfucker to get in line, Fauci. The main motherfucker who to put up there is Gates. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Bill Gates, yeah, you need to go up there with Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, do humanity a favor, get caught up in the gravitational pull of the sun, and disintegrate.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers are the goddamn virus.
Yep. Okay, so shout out to the viewers that were watching. For
real. I mean, really. Oh, and take Kimberly Daniels with you. And then as the sun burns up her ignorant ass, then she will appreciate the tree.
Our viewers, we love our viewers. Shout out to our
this
viewers.
asinine bullshit that they got going on, I mean, it is incredible, people. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off in a tangent, but goddamn, man. You can only try to bullshit a people, man, so many times. It ain't gonna happen. You can fool some motherfuckers all the time. You can fool every motherfucker some of the time, but you ain't gonna fool all motherfuckers all the time.
Yep. All right. Okay. All right. So I guess we can go to our next topic now. Julius Jones Execution in Oklahoma was halted. This was the brother that they had sentenced to death in the 1999 murder that he didn't commit.
Right.
So to give context on that, also from Corrupt News Network, CNN.
Right.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Skitz, I think it's Skit, has granted,
Oklahoma, the governor of Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, has granted clemency to Julius Jones, commuting Jones' death sentence just hours before he was scheduled to be executed for the 1999 murder he says he did not commit. Jones' sentence will be commuted to life in prison without the possibility of parole, according to an executive order filed Thursday. Jones was scheduled to be executed at 4 p.m. Central Time at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. Is that how you say that?
McAllister, Oklahoma, yeah. Jones
and his attorneys found out about the clemency at 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time while having their final visit. Jones has been in a holding cell outside the execution chamber for the past 2 weeks, the attorney said.
Damn.
He received his last meal Wednesday evening and they did not provide details on what was in the meal. An enormous sense of relief broke loose when the news arrived that Jones would not be executed, according to the attorneys. The Republican governor came to the decision following prayerful consideration and reviewing materials presented by all sides of the case, he said in a statement on Twitter. Oklahoma's Pardon and Parole Board had recommended Jones' sentence be commuted to life in prison with the possibility of parole in a 3-1 vote on November 1st. However, in their executive order, it said neither the state constitution nor state law gave the board the authority to recommend the commutation, nor do they give the governor the authority to grant it. As a result, the governor was commuting Jones' sentence with the condition that he shall not be eligible to apply for or be considered for a commutation, pardon, or parole for the remainder of his life, the order says.
Well, that case needs to be reopened, Brother Che, based on information that I've came across, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he was allegedly at home watching TV with his family when this murder had went down.
Yep. That was his alibi.
And then from what I understand, is that the real perpetuator or the real perpetrator that committed this homicide had got off scot-free, but there's something that the gentleman, he did not want to snitch on the actual killer of this person.
Yeah.
I believe. Okay. Now, here's the cold part about this here, Black family, okay, is that with the self-destruction patterns that we have, you always got somebody who's trying to set somebody up for a fall.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? And as you stated, Brother Che, as Brother Isaiah stated, as Brother Ramel has stated, as Mile High News has stated, is that we got to have some type of code of conduct amongst ourselves. And this is why on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced last night, I appreciate General Ramel for coming up with the topic, is that we got to get our children away from these goddamn public indoctrination centers. It's because this is where they learn this bullshit at.
Yeah, so actually, Shabaka, he wasn't at home. It was a carjacking that went wrong.
Okay.
From what I'm reading, it says how the victim was killed in a carjacking the night of July 28th, 1999, around 9:30 p.m. How his adult sister and his daughters pulled into their parents' driveway in a 1997 Suburban. According to court documents, Howe's sister told his daughters to gather their belongings and was exiting the vehicle when she heard a gunshot, court's records reveal or say.
And that was her loved one who got killed when the gunshot went off.
Yeah.
Damn.
It says Howe's sister glanced back, court documents say, and saw a black man who she said was wearing jeans, a white t-shirt, a black cap, and a red bandana over his face. The shooter fired again as Howe's sister and his daughters ran into the house, documents say. Howe died around 1:45 the next morning. Jones, 19 at the time, was arrested on July 31st, the day after the authorities found a murder weapon wrapped in a red bandana inside his family's home. He was tried alongside a co-defendant, Christopher Jordan, who was sentenced to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit a robbery per online court records. Jordan testified against Jones who was convicted and sentenced to death.
Wow.
Romel, you got too much background noise, babe.
Ramel, what you got going on?
Come out to meet that.
Okay. So, thoughts?
I personally am like, damn. He didn't do it, and the first thing the lady says, black man,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the one that fit the quote unquote description. And he spent his good part of his life in prison.
Yep.
And they just
Damn.
tried to offer him a reprieve from getting executed. Jeez.
Yeah, so Kim Kardashian and other celebrities are behind his clemency. They fought to get him clemency.
Well, later for Kim Kardashian, I'm glad the brother did get the stay of execution. But Hollywood, they can go fuck themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's because they doing that shit for publicity. Fuck the Kardashians. Fuck Kanye West. Fuck Hollywood and the whole goddamn city of Los Angeles, and I approve of the message.
Yeah, so reality TV star Kim Kardashian, who has long advocated against Jones' death sentence, actors Kerry Washington, Mandy Packington, I can't pronounce her last name, and even professional athletes like Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield have been using their voices and calling for the governor to spare Jones.
Now, very important question from these Kardashians and these pro athletes. Are they going to put something on that brother's books?
Right.
I mean, you got to give him something.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Are they going to put money on that brother's books?
Is the NAACP going to put some money on his books? Is the ACLU going to put money on his books?
Yeah, they're going to take care of his life. They took half his life, so the majority of his life.
Exactly.
He should be compensated.
And very important question. Oh, hell yeah. And then on top of it, are they going to do something for this man's family?
Yep.
I mean, they got the money to do it. They go up there with their pedophile asses, getting fucked up off them goddamn drugs. They might as well go do something right and decent.
Mm-hmm.
See? You know, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I grew up in the city of Los Angeles. Fuck Hollywood.
Right.
And technically and actually, the man probably needs a new trial anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does. He's been in there since 1999. That's over 20 years.
Right, so that's over 20 years.
If he's innocent, then they're gonna let him out?
No, he's gonna be there.
How old is the man now?
But he didn't do it.
He was 19.
He was 19 when he.
So he's got to be like.
Okay, so he's 40 now.
I think he's your age, man.
So he didn't do it, but they're gonna keep him in there.
Yep, for the rest of his life.
What?
Right. Okay, but that man immediately needs to get out of prison if he is innocent. And based on what we're talking about here, Brother Che, is that the man sounds innocent. They need to let that man go on and spend the remainder of his life outside of the bars.
They're saying because of Oklahoma law that they won't allow the law won't allow the governor to grant him full clemency or parole.
But he's innocent.
Or commute his sentence.
But he's innocent.
Okay, now what they need to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, then they need to take that case to the goddamn federal courts.
Yep.
But I don't even understand. Like, what is the fucking debate?
Now, where's Cop Milo on that one?
Quiet. Ain't said a word.
Yeah, where's Cop Milo on that one? Where's that motherfucker Biden at on that one? Where's Uncle Clarence Coon Thomas at on that one?
You're gonna let him sit in jail anyway because he's black.
Hell, where's that Coon Barack Obama on that one?
In Oklahoma.
Don't make no goddamn sense.
And what about the old banana sucking LGBT advocate Al Sharpton? Where's his stinking ass at?
Well, the NAACP.
And what about that other raggedy ass motherfucker, Messy Jesse, out of Chicago at on it? Yeah, Jesse Jackson, I'm talking about you.
That's all.
You opportunistic motherfucker.
NAACP.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Where the fuck they at on that one? Well, then all what you motherfuckers need to do is get on the same spaceship with Musk and Bezos and Gates and go fly that motherfucker directly to the sun. You ain't shit.
Right.
You're a hindrance. The individuals who created your sorry stinking asses. It was a wasted fuck. Straight out.
Okay, so let's get to the next topic because it's starting to get late.
Yes, sir.
The next topic is Henry Montgomery, an inmate who was key to the debate on juvenile life sentence, gets freed from prison. So this brother has been doing time for the past 57 years. And he was finally free on parole Wednesday night after spending 57 years in prison. He's 75 years old now. And the 75-year-old Supreme Court case was instrumental in extending the possibility of freedom to hundreds of people sentenced to life in prison without the opportunity for parole when they were juveniles. The Louisiana Parole Board voted unanimously in favor of parole after Montgomery spent nearly 6 decades behind bars. He said, "It feels so wonderful. I destroyed my life, their life, and the people that I hurt," he later added. Montgomery, who was just 17 when he was convicted. He was just 17 when he was convicted in the 1963 killing of Charles Hunt, an East Baton Rouge sheriff's deputy who caught him skipping school. National Public Radio reports the then teenager was initially sentenced to death, but had it overturned 2 years later after the state Supreme Court threw out his conviction due to Montgomery not receiving a fair trial.
Wow.
He's 75 years old now. He spent majority of his life behind bars, and now he's being paroled as a result of, I believe this is another one of those innocent projects.
Okay.
But it's setting light on juvenile life sentences and why they're wrong and they need to be outlawed. He's been in prison for 57 years. The case was retired with Montgomery being convicted again and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He has served out his time at the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. He's been in prison for 57 years. He had an excellent disciplinary record. He is a low risk by our assessment, and he got good comments from the warden, board member Tony Marbella said. Montgomery who is hard of hearing, said little words during his virtual court appearance and had his lawyer repeat questions to him from the board members. I'm really sorry that this happened, Montgomery said. This happened. I'm going to have to live with this my whole life, the rest of my life. He's
Wow.
75 years old now. Now, as a
Wow.
free man, Montgomery plans to pay his respects to his mother, grandmother, and other family members who passed away while he was incarcerated. The Parole Project will help Montgomery find housing, receive health care, get an ID, learn how to navigate modern society, considering he hasn't walked freely since the 1960s. Wow.
Okay. And in the 1960s, high technology was the transistor radio and the color television set.
Yep. Wow.
Damn.
So he says there's nothing left for him to accomplish at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, said Andrew Hudley, founder of the Louisiana Parole Project. It is time for Henry to come home. After 57 years. That's fucking crazy, y'all.
That's too much.
Yeah, it is. Does he have any children?
He was only 17.
He was only 17 when he was convicted, so I guess no.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Thoughts,
Damn.
Ramel?
He said he
No comment.
had no comment.
You have no comment on this?
Not really. I kind of been in and out about it. I listened to what Shabaka was saying. I'm with Shabaka.
Okay. Shabaka, thoughts?
Yes, sir. The thoughts on that? Wow, man. This is a very, very major tragedy, that happened to this man. And I'm of the opinion is that something needed to be done to house this man for the rest of his life where he shouldn't have no bills whatsoever.
Right.
This man should get a place to live where he could be comfortable and enjoy the remainder of his days.
Yep. I agree.
My thoughts is this: why didn't they set him up with any of that before they let him out?
No, that's what they're saying with this parole project they did.
Yeah, and oh man, I just don't know what to say on that. The only thing I can say is, with the brother, being in his elderly years, just going to make the man comfortable because he doesn't have that much time, But then again, he might live to be 100.
Yeah.
But for the remainder of his days, he shouldn't have to worry about paying for no food. He should not have to worry about paying no utility bills. He should definitely say, fuck nanotechnology, fuck a cell phone, fuck the internet. You know what I mean? Because this shit ain't doing nothing but spying on us any goddamn way. We all know it. They know it. They know it. That we know it. And why do you think they always fuck with our algorithm?
Right.
And I'll probably get another suspension from Facebook, And like I tell you lousy bastards all the time, I welcome the goddamn suspension.
Right.
Because we know we speaking the truth. Facebook cannot handle the truth. This damn judicial system cannot handle the truth. The mores of this warped ass society cannot handle the truth. And we supposed to sit up here and bow down to a fucking maniac ass billionaire who owns the goddamn patent to a virus and owns the goddamn patent to the quote unquote cure. That son of a bitch belongs in jail just on that.
Right.
Let that motherfucker die in prison. Better yet, put him on a spaceship with Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and fly that motherfucker directly to the sun.
Right.
and get caught up in the gravitational pull of it and burn the fuck up.
I'm with it.
Another group of wasted fucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know what to say about that. The man is 75 years old. And then, of course, you know, being in prison is hard. So, of course, you know, he's got health issues with it.
Yeah.
And from it. Not to mention the degradation and the brutalization he went through with it. Just of the prison life itself.
Yep.
And what I'm of the opinion too, Brother Chair, I'm going to say this here. From what I understand, they used to have something called the Star Chamber in English law. And keep in mind, I'm not praising no English. I ain't praising no British. I ain't praising none of you motherfuckers up there in Europe because you are the goddamn virus. It used to be if the lawyer did not represent you properly, he was to do your time in jail.
Yeah.
So all the lawyers who did not defend that man properly, go pick him up tonight.
Tonight.
Let him walk the concrete.
Yeah.
In general population.
All right, Shabaka. So our next topic is closer to home, and it's the $15 million settlement for Elijah McClain's family. So for those who don't know,
yes, sir.
There was a young man by the name of Elijah McClain. He was 23 years old.
Rise in power.
Yeah, rest in power to him.
Yes, sir.
Killed by Aurora PD and the paramedics. They shot him up with ketamine, and this is before COVID. He had a mask on. He matched the description. He was suspicious. He was walking home. Instead of letting him walk home, the police harassed him, attacked him, put him in a chokehold, and then allowed the paramedics to shoot him up with ketamine, which resulted in his death. And now his family is settling out of court for $15 million.
Okay. So the paramedic who injected him, the cops who created this, all their fucking houses need to be confiscated, all their bank accounts depleted, all their retirement depleted to go to that man, Mr. McClain's family, and hopefully put that paramedic and them cops who did that shit, that killed that man, put him in a cardboard box at 10 degrees below zero with no assets, and let the goddamn city of Denver come up there and throw away their meager possessions.
Yeah. So the article from Corrupt News Network says the city of Aurora, Colorado has agreed to pay $15 million to the family of Elijah McClain to settle the civil rights lawsuit filed against the city in the wake of the 23-year-old's violent arrest and subsequent death in 2019. The settlement was first announced in October, but was finalized after a mediation hearing with the McClain family members in U.S. District Court on Friday. The multi-million-dollar payout is the latest in a series of high-profile police misconduct settlements in which cities have paid millions of dollars to surviving family members. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, the family. Oh, I got more to read. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, the family of George Floyd received a $27 million settlement. In Louisville, Kentucky, the family of Breonna Taylor.
Brother Che, they're distorting your comments, sir. Your last few comments were distorted, by this technology.
Okay, what's the last thing you remember hearing?
Okay, saying it's $15 million settlement to the family.
Okay, so So
Oh, okay.
this is the multi-million-dollar payment is the latest in a series of high-profile police misconduct settlements in which cities have paid millions of dollars to surviving family members. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, the family of George Floyd received $27 million settlement. In Louisville, Kentucky, the family of Breonna Taylor, who was shot dead in a police raid, received $12 million payment.
Okay. So therefore, the taxpayer should not be liable for that. All right. So then what they need to do, if the cops who are responsible for this don't have all the assets, but strip them of all their assets, put them out the crib, take the bank account, the cars, all that. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even go so far as to send their wives over there to Nevada to hold for the fucking money. It's legal there. Degrade them thoroughly. Because when they swore to uphold the law and to protect the citizens and failed at that, that's fraud.
Yep.
Break them, not the taxpayers.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, my thoughts on this is like, man, I really, me personally, I really didn't want to see them settle out of court. I would really like to see more justice happen because we had already started, Aurora's already started to hold these fuckers accountable, for real. You know what I mean? And I was hoping for more. Was not hoping for the family to settle out. Some of the things that the family has, well, the mother, right?
Yeah, Celine McClain.
Yeah, the mother. She I don't know. She's different from the grandmother. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, big time.
Very different from the grandmother. The grandmother is a lovely individual.
Yeah. Shout out to Linda.
Shout out to Linda. We like Linda. However,
yeah, and of course our hearts go out to all his family members.
Yes.
Not that we want to see you not have no money. We just don't want to see you settle, and then settling is just like letting them win.
Yeah. So no amount of money. Hold on, I got more to read. So
yes, sir.
No amount of money can change what happened or erase the pain or the heartbreak experienced by the family over this loss. Or over his loss.
Right.
Aurora City Manager Jim Twomby said in a statement issued to CNN, the settlement is an important step in moving forward with the city's New Way plan to restore the community's trust in public safety.
That's why I didn't want you to settle.
While avoiding a protracted legal process that does not serve the best interests of the city or the family. Aurora will pay $5 million of the settlement out of the city's general fund, while the other $10 million will be covered by the city's excess liability insurance policy.
Wowzers.
The Aurora City Council approved the $15 million at a meeting in July. And just to rehash what happened, in August of 2019, McClain, 23, was stopped by the police while walking home from a store, placed in a carotid chokehold, and then injected with ketamine. His mother, Celine McClain, filed a federal lawsuit in 2020 against the city of Aurora and the police officers and the fire department members involved in her son's death. Last month, her attorneys announced the case had been settled in principle, resolving all claims in the federal civil rights case. Attorneys for Celine McClain confirmed the $15 million figure to CNN and issued a statement. Again, no amount of money will ever bring Elijah back to his mother. Miss McClain would return every cent for just one more day with her son. There will be an allocation hearing in the near future to determine the distribution of the settlement between Miss McClain, who raised Elijah as a single parent, and a biological father. Hopefully, this sends a message to police everywhere that there are consequences for their actions. Uh, LaWayne Mosley, Elijah's father, said in a statement, "I hope Elijah's legacy is that police will think twice before killing another innocent person."
Yeah, you know, this is bad, Black family, and like we've always have pushed the narrative, tangibles 2021. Don't waste your time on these bullshit ass politicians unless they're giving us something specifically for our vote. Is because, as we know, it is the elected officials that regulate and appoint these individuals to, quote unquote, to go enforce the law, which is the executive branch of the government. Me personally, I'm of the opinion that every person of African descent, American descendants of slavery, should not be subjugated to these bullshit ass laws. We need
Right.
our own nationhood, straight out. We
Straight up.
need to police ourselves, straight out. We need to develop a code amongst ourselves and adhere to it. I'm sorry, Brother Che, go ahead.
So, as a result of this happened. So when the case was reopened, the case had to be reopened up, and it was the Governor Polis, who announced a re-examining of the case last year after protests in Aurora after George Floyd got killed. So the state attorney general Phil Weiser was appointed as special prosecutor and opened a grand jury investigation into the case in January. In September, a Colorado grand jury indicted 3 police officers, 2 fire department paramedics involved in McClain's death. Each was indicted on charges of manslaughter. It should have been first-degree murder and criminal negligent homicide as part of a 32-count indictment. The Colorado Attorney General's office launched a 14-month investigation into the Aurora Police Department and fire departments. The investigation found that the police department had a pattern of practicing racially biased policing and excessive force and had failed to record legally required information while interacting with the community. Earlier this week, the city and the state of Colorado reached an agreement on the terms of this consent decree to resolve Aurora Police Department and Aurora Fire Rescue issues identified in a September Patterns and Practices report. The consent decree covers 4 areas identified in the Attorney General's report: racially biased policing, use of force, documentation of stops, and ketamine and other chemical restraints.
Damn. Wow. All right. So it sounds like that the chief executive of that municipality needs to be recalled, if not thrown in fucking prison, for failure to give people equal protection under the law.
Yep, I agree. So our next topic is Zac Stacey, former NFL player, domestic violence video, and how it triggers women.
Yeah,
this is
so
Lady Che's topic. Go ahead.
This is my topic. So hold on a sec, Black family. I'm gonna share the screen, okay? Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up. Let's see. Right here. Let's see. Which one I watched? Is it this one?
I think it's the one with the bar that's already.
Oh, this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse us. 1 second.
Back now with a graphic attack caught on camera of former NFL player beating his ex-girlfriend in a Florida home. Their 5-month-old child just feet away. Maura Barrett has this story from Chicago tonight, and we do want to warn you, the video we're about to show you is disturbing.
Tonight, police looking to arrest a former NFL player after these horrifying images surfaced, showing him beating his ex-girlfriend.
Listen, you think that was okay?
Kristen Evans speaking out in an interview with NBC's Telemundo.
But this has been one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my life. Well, I just wanted to make sure that I stayed conscious. That I was afraid.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, family. Hold on a second. It's not the one.
The one you watched.
No, that's the one that they took like fucking forever. It's this one. I think it's this one.
It's only a minute.
Yeah, this one.
Seconds.
Okay, family. Sorry, this is gonna trigger a lot of people, but it's different. This is the one. This man right here. Okay, here we go. Video is intense. As soon as it starts, anytime now. Glad they threw up the disclaimer because,
I feel it's a white girl.
yeah.
Like this, listen. Things are way different now. Listen.
You think that was okay?
No, I do not. Please, please, please.
You thought that was okay? And then gonna ruin a relationship and talking about I'm destructive?
Listen.
Bitch.
God, please.
I love you, Coops.
They ain't said he loved him.
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now let me stop that. That shit right there.
Zac Stacey.
That shit right there was like, I watched it on TMZ, badly, and the other day, when I was visiting Che. I was like, damn, I must be high. This shit is not happening. And the thing is that, yeah, it's a Karen and everything like that, but there's no but. That shit is hella triggering for anybody, like anyone who's ever went through anything like that. Like, I can speak from personal experience. I had a whole scenario for 2 years like that, just like that. And I know that when I seen it, I was like, oh my God, I think I started stuttering like I am now. Apparently, like, she was trying to get that woman was trying to get help. Nobody believed her, so she had to decide to set up get some nanny cams or some shit around her crib and catch that incident. I mean, you just never know when that incident is really gonna occur, but she kind of caught all of that. Like, did you plant that little scenario right there so they could get that shit cracking? I don't know, but he was apparently very upset and he did all that. Then he went on the run and they couldn't find him. Now they found him and he had to go to court, I guess. Yesterday. It was yesterday he went to court, and there's some footage of that, but I was like, this shit happens every day to women and men. There are men that go through this too. You know what I mean? That was part of I was gonna show a display earlier, but Chase said we didn't have enough time, so perhaps on the revolutionary agenda I'll get more into that. When men go through this too. It's not just women. There are men that go through this sort of physical fucking dramatics and abuse that happens and just because they're supposed to be, you know, strong black men, they go through it too. And I was going to show that earlier too, that we don't talk enough about it. But domestic violence, physical abuse, it's all sorts of. There's 5 levels. I think there's 5 levels of abuse. But that right there is from some dude. He's in the NFL, like a former. No, he's still a player, right? Former. And you know, he's getting criticized, of course. She only suffered as I said, minor bumps and bruises that day, and they did it in front of the kid, and all that happened right in front of the kid. And I felt like we need to talk about that for a quick second, because that happens every day. It happens to women, and it definitely don't sleep on it that it happens to men. It happens to men. There's some men that have a woman like that somewhere, and it's aggressive in that manner too, and they probably don't want to put their hands on them until they finally have to put their hands on them, and then that's how they end up going to jail. So we'll explore that later on the revolutionary agenda, that there's some men going through abusive situations too, and they can't get out of. And that woman was lucky that she was able to go ahead and submit those videos to. She submitted it to like TMZ and like a whole bunch of other people, which is like, whoa, he really.
Well, he is through.
Jail.
Yep, he's through.
Yeah, dude is through. And then on top of that is that if you're in a relationship and you feel it's got to get like that, the best thing to do is go on and leave.
Right. Definitely.
I mean, I'm talking about on the man's part. The only thing he needs to do is leave the premises, go to a bar, go to a neighborhood, hit the first motherfucker you see, and it's on and cracking. And then he could blow off his steam on that. There's no reason to use the woman for a sparring partner or a punching bag or something to degrade. Is because there's a lot of men, as you said, Lady Che, who are victims of this type of abuse as well, too. Yeah. And from what I understand, the way we're working a reverse scenario, the woman would abuse the man. Well, I'll call the police on you and tell them that you did this, that, day, or the other. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? False accusation, but it'd be a hell of hard for him to prove a false accusation as opposed to the other way around. Hey, man, you ain't got to do that, homie. Just leave.
Leave. Right. Really do your best to get out of there.
And then you're a former NFL player. You got enough scratch. Go get you a goddamn suite somewhere. Right. Go to Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, go buy a hooker. Go do something else, but don't do that. And don't do it in front of your kid. You know, because your kid is sitting there.
Well, say,
they destroyed the child is everything.
Right, and the child is innocent, then the child would be traumatized by this shit. The child could possibly be injured in this confrontation. You see what I mean? And if you're together, you know what I'm saying, and we all know is don't nobody want to get involved in nobody's else domestic relationship because it could be very tragic. Generally the third party trying to do something.
I had a situation.
Love is strange.
I had a couple,
as they say.
Yeah, yes. I had a couple of situations like that, and one when I was probably like 22 years old. I had already had my third baby, my first husband, and he had been gone for days on end, smoking and hanging out with the homeboys, his boys, you know, watching boxing and doing whatever. And I had brought my baby home, and I had two sons that were small. And I remember that he came home real high and drunk and early, and he was just tripping. I was like, man, go back to wherever you were. Come back when you're sober. You know what I mean? Like, just come back when you're sober. I don't want the boys to see it like this. And it got real physical. He broke. I had placed my baby on this.
Yeah, so
I can't hear you.
You're breaking up, Shabaka.
Because, you know, those domestic violence situations, you know, they could escalate into a homicide very, very quickly.
Yeah, I placed my baby on this little bed, and the shit got out of hand. Like, you know, he got real physical like that. And he ended up bumping into the bed, and the baby fell on the floor. So as I pick myself up, I'm picking up my baby, and I'm trying to hide my sons from seeing this. They're already crying, and they're only like 4 years old and 2 years old. So they're crying. One has an accident. It's just real traumatic. And then he passes out, and I had to make a decision, like what was I gonna do? Like I barely breathe. I had like 3 broken ribs. I just remember getting my sons dressed, and it was cold, and having to walk them over to the payphone to call my parents and have them come get them because I couldn't see bringing them back in the house like that. But I had a brand new baby, and my parents were gonna let me just leave my baby there so I could deal with my problems. It led to where I ended up leaving my home and being out on the street, like physically homeless for like another year. And I was at that time I was selling weed and whatever I had to do to put diapers on my children. That I was out there in the street doing the most just to get an apartment. It took like a whole year to get an apartment after that. Just living in the street with my baby in my coat. It was terrible. Then just recently, like, no, not recently, but like maybe a year or so ago, um, my last mate that's serving time in prison, not because I did that, I didn't do that, but um, that was what I was living with, just like that, scenarios just like that, in the same apartment building that Jesse is living in, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. It was for good, like, what, 8, 9 months that I was there before he was away, and nobody knew. And it was because of I grew up in a household where you keep your stuff inside your house, and I was embarrassed and ashamed. And if the man didn't strike me in front of other people in the lobby, no one would ever knew that I was constantly like hiding from him or leaving, or I was going through all this stuff for like days, It'd be like 3, 4 days of physical fucking violence to where I had to cut off all my hair. I didn't pull it out. He busted up my lungs so that when I was in the hospital that time, remember, I was really sick. I was coughing up all this blood. It was because I had got my lungs stomped, basically, and I had three tears in the bottom of it that I had to fix. And it was like a very big thing. I was lucky to be alive. That lady is lucky to be alive. There's some men that are lucky to fucking be alive because they go through shit, especially black men. And this is a reality that nobody wants to talk about. Black men take a lot of fucking physical violence, and they don't get a chance to express it. I know a few off the top of my head that have to deal with somebody harming them religiously. You know what I mean? And they're supposed to be strong, and they are. They are. It's not to say that they're weak in any way. It's just there's a lot of black men that love their women and put up with a lot of nonsense, and they can't leave. They can't seem to leave her alone. They think they're leaving her alone, and instead they're getting shit thrown at them. They're getting called the worst name you could ever call a man is a bitch to his face in front of his friends. There's men that are actually going through this, and they won't leave, or they think that if they do eventually leave, that it's on some old weak sucker shit. But there's domestic violence going on with men too, and a lot of it is at the hands of white women and some sisters that can't behave themselves, and they're getting their ass handed to them. So it's not just us, not just women. We really have to think about our strong men that by the time that they eventually do get out and they try to find a good woman, they're so fucking damaged, and they think that every woman is gonna fucking put their hands on them or yell at them or call them names, and they're not at peace. They have a hard time coming back to reality when they finally meet someone who is of a stable mindset that isn't trying to harm them. You know what I mean? And it makes you feel really bad. It makes you feel really bad that there are people like me and certain men, women of course, but obviously certain men, especially our kings that are out there just catching ass whoopings and fucking names. They're just not at peace. Like, I didn't have no peace. I had no peace until fucking he went to prison.
Yep.
I think, and it has nothing to do with me why he's in jail or why he went to prison. But I had no motherfucking peace because I felt like I felt like I couldn't get out of it. And then every part of my apartment before I moved into this shithole was like I seen every inch of my apartment that I should have never seen unless I was cleaning the walls or some of that other shit. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that I could see. There was a moment in time where I couldn't see out of my face, or I couldn't hear out of my ear. I couldn't breathe. It was a lot, and I cut my fucking hair. I think everybody, including my mother, had a whole fit because I shaved my head because I felt like if I cut off on my hair, he can't pull it. He can't drag me around. You know what I mean? And there's men that are out there thinking like, you know, man, if I better just come in, sit still, and don't do nothing. Just don't even, you know. They live on eggshells. There's people like that, and they don't hear about it. You don't hear about it because, like me, I grew up with that
Well,
shit.
they need to go see a movie called The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett Majors. And it was based on a true story where she was a domestic violence victim where this man was constantly using her as a sparring partner. And she just went on and set the motherfucker on fire while he was in the bed sleep, lit his ass up. No pun intended.
That's what Left Eye did to that former NFL player that was abusing her.
Yeah. And then too, ladies, I recommend on that is go get you a goddamn gun, get on a pistol range, and and protect yourself at all times. For you gentlemen who is going through the shit there, as Lady Che was saying, my advice is run like hell, like Speedy Gonzalez. I don't give a good goddamn if you got to go sleep up under the motherfucking expressway, freeway, or whatever. You don't want to get caught up in that, is because what's going to happen is when the authorities show up, with you being the man, the only thing she has to say is that you hit her and your ass is gone.
Yeah, gone.
Particularly in the state of California.
Go get your toughest little sister and have them beat the brakes off that bitch.
Okay,
Every
but
day
particularly
motherfucking hands on you because every day, and that's my advice to you, men, is go get somebody and beat the fucking brakes off of that broad until she learned to keep her motherfucking hands off of you and learn to treat you with motherfucking respect, or any other man for that matter, because that bitch is out of control. And say, you know, like for women, get the fuck out of there and don't look back. That's all you got to do. It's just there's plenty of masturbate, do whatever the fuck you need to do, but get away from that, because that will eventually kill you and destroy your whole motherfucking life. That kind of shit will destroy your whole fucking life. And I know from experience of having to start over 3 motherfucking separate times because of an individual like that. And they come in all shapes, sizes, and different races.
Well, after the O.J. Simpson case in the state of California, they changed the domestic violence laws. Okay. And in that case right there, O.J. had beat that woman on several occasions. I mean, blood on her and things of that nature right there. And I think the law in California now is that if the woman is a domestic violence victim and the police show up, they don't need her to press charges, is because the state can press charges on your ass, meaning the police.
And there's here in Colorado, they had a duty, that especially the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, they had a duty to fucking protect me and to put me somewhere safe, and they refused to do it. They refused.
Then that's a lawsuit.
And the more that the shit kept getting out of hand, and then it was like, you know, you have to move here, you know, all this other shit, now to take a different voucher. It's just, there's no motherfucking justice. And the fact is that I'm a motherfucker that just don't be, you know, calling the police. So I was lucky that the last time when it had happened, that I had me and Che were always hanging out. but that was the only person I knew I could go hide out with that wouldn't open the door for this motherfucker at all, like at all. Whereas everybody else was afraid of him and would open the door. He could knock and knock and knock, and Che wouldn't open the door, and I would sit there and read and be at peace for like, you know, a couple hours till like midnight, 1 o'clock, and then, you know, Che about to go to sleep. I head on downstairs to my apartment because I figured shit would be mellowed out. Motherfucker broke my windows, he destroyed everything in the house, and I was glad that when he finally did go away for his own misgivings, it took a long time before, it took like 3 months before I really went into my apartment, because that was like a nightmare. Like that was supposed to be
in California,
5 years off the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I do know in California, if you was in somebody's house and somebody comes banging on the fucking door and forces their way in, that's interpreted as home invasion, and you can kick them off the planet in California.
He wasn't gonna do that. Yeah, he was afraid of you. He was afraid of him. He wasn't gonna push his way in.
Nope.
You know, because that's another that see some men like that punk out around real men. You know what I mean? They punk out around the
well, here's what I suggest what the women do is go take you a self-defense course, okay? Go learn you some boxing, some martial arts, and if the motherfucker up there can start putting his hands on you, send his ass to the cemetery. All you got to do is give him a swift side kick to the kneecap, and it will snap like a toothpick.
Yeah, and I have.
And he won't be walking straight no more.
Just saying in general.
Yeah, in general, I have fighting skills. I'm very proficient with my sharps. But my thing was that when you know, sometimes when the initial abuse happens, it catches you off guard, and after that, you're in a state of fear. He caught me when I was in the bathtub, and I almost drowned that first time. So after that, I was terribly afraid, and I wouldn't be afraid normally because I like to fight. I physically like to fight, you know. But that was something that you know that he brought me to a level of sheer fear, and even now, like talking about it it's upsetting. So I see this video, and I'm like, how many other motherfuckers saw this video, men or women, and they have placed themselves in that person's shoes where they're getting thrown across the room? Like the man who threw me across the room, I'm like 240 right now. I was about that. He was only like 5'4" and 130 pounds, throwing me around like if I was his height, his weight.
Well, sis, what you should have did was took a blunt object and bust that motherfucker upside his head.
Oh, we fought many times when we had fought. There's just when you can't, some things you just can't fight back. Like raging, you know, if somebody's raging and you're not in a rage state of mind. Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of aspects, you know, for men and women that go through that, and that there is. It's not easy. It's really not until you've been through it. It's really not that easy. And I just wanted to talk about it for a quick second. Ramel, are you still with us? Do you want to chime in?
I think he went to sleep.
Ramel probably went to sleep. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this, Ramel? What's your thoughts on this domestic violence?
My thoughts is if you can leave before it gets too bad, man. You know,
right.
I've been in a situation where the chick, you know, because she knew the laws were protecting her, she attacked me. You know what I mean? And
right.
You know, so it's crazy like that. You know, I just think that if it's start getting to the point where she's putting your hands on you, or the dude's putting your hands on the lady or whatever,
right?
And it's time to break up.
Right, that's not love, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
On you, that's not love. Don't equate the two. That is not love.
Yeah,
that is abuse.
Yeah,
love does not hurt. And I have witnessed that with my mom growing up. So I refuse to be a perpetrator of that kind of violence. toward my mate.
And I recommend that the women go take them a self-defense course. And like I said, if you are on the defensive and this person is on the offensive, always remember that your leg is longer than your arms. And you side kick that motherfucker into the kneecap, it will snap like a toothpick and he won't be walking straight no more. But as Brother Che said, and as Ramel said, and as I say, if you're in a relationship like that, the best thing to do is go on and leave. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care how, like Gladys Knight said, hugging and loving, getting with the kissing and all this old type of stuff. When it comes to getting physical like that, that ain't love. And to quote Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it?
Right.
The thing is too, I recommend that everybody, you know, and that's even me. I go through therapy too sometimes when I.
And then my recommendation to men, if the woman is calling you a bunch of motherfuckers, calling you faggots and all that old type of shit, that is nothing more than provocation. The best thing to do is to get far the fuck away from that individual and stay away from them.
Yes.
Now, if they get off into stalking you, okay, and plotting on you like a movie that Clint Eastwood made called Play Misty for Me. Yeah, that chick, Jessica Walter, the role she played, she was off the hook, you know?
Or more recently, a thin line between love and hate. Get away.
Yeah, exactly. You see, and fuck Ike Turner for doing that bullshit. Because one thing I do not condone is a rapist, a woman beater, because as soon as you get off into verbal insults and degradation, that's the time to leave right there, because that's it's only a matter of time before it gets physical.
Right.
Just like what Ramel said, it's gone and leave. And I've been caught up in shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and got the fuck up out of Dodge. Cell phone was getting blowed up. No, I got to get far the fuck away from you. I'm running like Speedy Gonzalez for two reasons. One is you're not going to burn me up in the bed while I'm asleep.
Right.
Two is you ain't going to set me up on no damn case.
Right.
And like I said, in the state of California, if it goes like that, and if there's marks on both of y'all, both you motherfuckers is going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't need nobody to file no charges or whatnot, is because what the state of California could do is saying that they are charging you with domestic violence. And they changed all the laws on that after the O.J. Simpson case. And O.J. Simpson, you was the biggest goddamn fool that I ever saw. You egotistical motherfucker. Yeah, I'm talking about you, O.J. You fucking trick. And the stupidest shit that I ever saw is on that Ford Bronco going 40 miles an hour down the freeway where the speed limit is 65 miles an hour. And you in the car, I'm gonna go to your grave and blow my brains out, man. You need to quit smoking that shit. You need to quit drinking. You need to quit sniffing or whatever what the fuck you was doing, because that was some bizarre, stupid ass shit. And keep in mind, folks, it's very easy to get caught up in that bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
And when it goes like that, run like Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes, get the hell out of Dodge.
Fast. Real fast.
So we got two more topics to get to for close out the show.
Yes, sir.
The next two topics are the Unhoused Neighbor News and Unhoused Neighbor Sweeps. So
yes, sir.
Continue. Me and Lady Che, Queen and Kruma, were at a sweep on Wednesday. It was about 3 tents, and everybody was traumatically displaced that was there. There was, what, 1 or 2 black people there?
If that. Mostly, well, my Cuban uncle was over there. on one side, and we did see him. What a couple of little incidents happened.
Some lady almost hit us with her car.
Well, for me,
No shit.
that was my second time somebody tried to hit me, and we don't move for. It's just like this. We're not moving for nobody. We're there doing our job, and it was one thing if you like I wasn't impeding. We weren't impeding the way, but this is a racial. When I say it's racial, that means it's a white women driving, honking the horn at two individuals like ourselves. Okay? And when she tried to hit us, she's like beep 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 beep, and we just stood there. Everybody else got all riled up and upset, right? And me and Che were just standing there like not making no moves because hey, it's just like in the club. You either say excuse me or whatever. We weren't blocking the way. Anything honking the fucking police for putting up the fence. But she did that on purpose. And she got out and what was really upsetting is the police let her get a pass. When you almost run two people over and you get up close to them on purpose, and especially if they're black, you know what the fuck you're doing. And you go around all these white people and you go around the white police and shit, and you can say all kinds of demeaning fucking words to everybody who's yelling at you or whatever. And they're it's kind of interesting to see
and
how
the
they're
police say that's your fault.
Yeah, they say that we're at fault, but again, we ignored them too.
Yeah.
We ignored them too and didn't get involved in the fucking the lively antics of the fucking people who were like, you woo 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 woo. Well, we weren't doing any of that. We just stood there and I was just like, well, that shit was racist. Like that's a racial situation. But it was my third time. He was his first time, my third time, twice before he even got there. And I wasn't gonna move then either. Like, no, I don't give a fuck if I don't move for you on the street. I won't move for you anyway. I'm not impeding nothing. You know what? Like, you know how to drive in the driveway. You're just being an asshole. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's how that went down.
It was on 20th and Tremont.
Yeah, the sweeps continue to happen, but because they have closed down the triangle and they keep moving people around this other area, the camps are getting smaller. They're still really clean camps, though. That camp was really clean.
Yeah, it was.
And we're thankful that some of the people there, they're kind of more receptive to us now. Well, I would say us. I mean me, because they already know Jesse, so they're nice to Jesse. But me, they're like they're getting to it, and that's good. Other than that, we're just waiting to see what happens. Here in the next few weeks, they're opening up all these housing developments.
Safe outdoor spaces.
Safe outdoor spaces. There's one coming up in the east side, which is pretty good. Though their goal is to put one in each district, which I think is a positive thing. But I also think that it's getting colder and winter is coming, and they have no real.
Hell yeah, it's getting cold. I'm in the next state next to y'all and shit, and I'm sitting in this vehicle, and it's every damn bit of about 38 degrees out here. It's because I'm trying to warm myself up and see this damn heat working this motherfucker. Oh, okay, finally getting some damn heat in here. Shit.
Yeah. So the sweeps continue. Mayor Hancock, or Hancone as we call him, continues to usher out the sweeps at least once a week. Like we said, the triangle's now a permanent sweep spot, so we don't know how many days or times that's getting swept every week. Yeah. But the sweeps that we do know about, we try to stay abreast to, and if they're in a location we can get to, we attend them. But yeah, they have been ruled unconstitutional, and there's another lawsuit underway. There's an injunction underway.
Good.
So we'll keep y'all updated on what happens with that. But yeah, the sweeps are wrong. You sweep trash, not people. Housing is the only solution to homelessness.
And housing is a human right.
Yes, exactly. Housing is a human right.
It's a fucking basic human right. Food is a human right. A place to go relieve yourself is a human right where you don't have to piss and shit on yourself.
Yes, and shame
That
on
is a
Denver
human
City
right.
Council. Exactly, and shame on Denver City Council. Councilwoman Candy Shidabaka brought forth 14 amendments for the 2022 budget proposal, and they voted down all 14 of the amendments. And the amendments would have gave hand washing stations, sanitary facilities to the encampments,
Right.
and porta potties and all of that.
Right.
And they voted it all down.
Yeah, shame on them, man.
They turned it all down.
About it on when I get a chance on us to speak at City Council.
Okay. If I may interrupt for 1 second, Brother Che. Once again, like I said, sir, you're the co-host of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. You are more than welcome, sir, to go up there and do a podcast and put their asses on blast.
Okay.
And I will approve of their message. In fact, I'm pre-approving of the message. Because how dare you damn politicians go up there to your motherfucking castles at taxpayers' expense, and then you're going to sweep homeless people, which is a very, very fucked up ass position to be in. But keep in mind, politicians, they still taxpayers. Every time they go buy them cigarettes, they paying taxes. Every time they go buy that MJ, they paying taxes. Every time they go buy the tent, they paying taxes. And it's just a very fucked up ass position to be in, to be unhoused. I've been unhoused. I know the feeling. And and it is not a good one. So therefore, you goddamn politicians, rather if you in Oakland, Los Angeles, Denver, New York, just think if that there was your mother or your brother out there homeless like that.
Right.
I don't think you. I'm sorry.
Finish this thought.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you goddamn politicians who are entrusted by the people of the municipality, the state, or at the fucking federal level, that ain't your goddamn money that you motherfuckers is out there allocating. It ain't costing you shit. That's the taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
And how dare you stinking ass lousy motherfuckers think that is your money?
Right. That's the people's money. So we're gonna move to our closing statements, Shabaka. So
yes, sir.
Give a closing statement. We're gonna close the show out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on here on Frontline Black News. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced is part of the Frontline Black News organization where we have you. Shout out there to General Ramel for the excellent guest he brought on Shabaka's Black Experience on our last special edition. Definitely thank Brother Che for his technical skills on that episode. And like I said, we are still waiting on you Biden supporters to call in at Shabaka's Black Experience on our next episode. And once again, the number is 516-418-5996, and just press 1 and we will be happy to have you on the air. We know you feel like shit. We know you got your head bumped. You thought that raggedy motherfucker was going to do something for your stupid ass, and we are demanding something tangible for our votes in return. Tangibles 2021. Everything else is bullshit. Straight out. These are some extreme times going on. You got motherfuckers out here with nanotechnology and getting slammed with vaccines and all that shit. So Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, you and that raggedy ass broad of yours, get on a spaceship, do humanity a favor, set a direct course for the sun, and take that stupid ass Kimberly Daniels with you. Take Uncle Tim Scott with you, Clybourne, all you sorry ass motherfuckers in the U.S. Congress can go straight to hell. That is the people's money. You motherfuckers think that is yours.
Right.
And there's no way in fucking hell with all the money you bastards are making off this goddamn internet shit that anybody should be out there living in the goddamn street.
Right.
Try it for a couple of weeks. I bet you change your tune. Now, when you can't hang after the first couple of days, think about it, about somebody who's been doing it for years.
Right on, Shabaka.
That's my closing statement.
Thank you, Shabaka.
Yes, sir.
Closing statements. Ramel.
General Mel.
I must have went to sleep.
All right.
Bay. Oh, here we go. Ramel, closing statements.
Yeah, just from understanding the angel peace on the east, understanding the surge and manipulated you, bringing the hope without a toll, Christian front line campaign salutes to fallen soldiers. I just want to say that we need to wake up, we need to educate and teach the youth that the system is a beast designed to destroy us, and we just need to stop believing in the system, and it's not the American dream, it's the American team. So true that. That's it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Ramel.
Lady Che.
I just want to say Black power, Black love, Black everything. Black first. This was a heavy show, and I'm thankful to the gentlemen that are here with us today. Shabaka, Ramel, Kukizi, Che, thank you. It's been a heavy, productive show, and join us on Tuesday for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and on I have a special edition of the Revolutionary Agenda tomorrow. So please join me. Time will be shortly announced, and the Revolutionary Agenda on our regular time on Thursday at 4:00. Also, like and subscribe all the Frontline Black News pages, both on YouTube and Facebook. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook, and please watch them. Please listen on Blog Talk. We do have that on the Frontline Campaign .org website, and please tune in on Thursday or whenever you see the Revolutionary Agenda go live. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for making this show obviously very productive and lively, and thank you for all your commentary and hard work and research. All you do, it is greatly appreciated. That's my thing.
Yes, so thank y'all for tuning in to episode 37 of the Frontline Black News. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook, and like and subscribe to the Revolutionary Agenda on Facebook and YouTube. This has been a great show. Thank you to our guests, Shabaka Sankori, Ramel Understanding, Cool Keezy, and other guests that wasn't able to join us tonight, LaJosh. We'll be back next week with the new episode of Frontline Black News, episode 38. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, you can check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And check out the Revolutionary Agenda tomorrow at a time to be announced. And also check out the Revolutionary Agenda on its regular scheduled time, which is Thursdays at 4 p.m. Peace, love, light, and Black empowerment.
Always.